Are you making good money, but still wondering where it all goes? Imagine feeling completely confident about your business finances. Jillian at JMV Financial Services provides more than just numbers. She empowers entrepreneurs to simplify their numbers, strengthen cash flow, increase profitability, and create a financial plan that supports the business and the life they've worked so hard to build. No more financial overwhelm, no more second guessing, just clarity, confidence, and a roadmap for lasting success. Ready to take control of your financial future? Scan the QR code and book your strategy call with Jillian today.
You're showing up. You're posting. You're speaking. You're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. VoiceLab was built to solve that. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Email and newsletter strategy that actually gets responses. Workflows, not just more noise. Real connection that leads to real business. Inside VoiceLab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. VoiceLab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join the VoiceLab. Scan the QR code, join VoiceLab Group on the School platform, and build the business that actually works.
Welcome to a world of unforgettable experiences and immersive marketing. Transform your events into extraordinary moments that captivate your audience. Whether it's corporate gatherings, product launches, or community celebrations, our immersive marketing solutions elevate your events to new heights. Immerse your attendees in a world of audio books and podcasts tailored to your brand. Engage their senses and leave a lasting impression. Explore the power of storytelling with our curated podcast content. From insightful discussions to entertaining narratives, we've got the perfect audio experience for your event. Ready to make your next event unforgettable? Scan the QR code now and book a complimentary immersive marketing call with our experts. Let's create memories together. Elevate your events with immersive marketing. Scan the code and let the magic begin.
All right. Welcome back to another wonderful, splendid, and great episode of the Pain Point Podcast. We're here. It's Friday. Yay! It's just about that time. It's about that time. All right. So I do ask, good morning. I'm Nicole Borghi. I should say welcome back to another wonderful episode. And I should say hello. How are you? Let me know in the chat how you're doing. And I've got some great sponsors. Check that out. Check out the Voice Lab. It is all about your voice, your worth, getting on stages, getting seen and heard. And truly comes into immersive marketing. Immersive marketing is marketing 360, right? It's everywhere. That's in virtual reality. That's with AI, without AI. It's on all your social platforms. And it's you getting in front of the camera. What are you doing to get in front of the camera? Show your face and connect with your clients. They want your engagement and you. It's all about whether it's your workshops or your webinars. What are you using to market yourself, and how are you in front of the camera? Where can people find you? And if those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicole Borghi. I am your hostess with the mostest, and I'm here to share some solutions to your business's pain points. And it's all about that immersion of branding yourself you get in front of the stage, get visibility, generate leads. How do you do that? You share, whether it's you sharing your commercial, your 30-second commercial out there, or getting on a stage creating a summit that builds, shares your passionate purpose. What are you doing for business? What's your zone of genius? People want to know a little bit more about you. And the best way to share is through those live events and connecting with you. That's all that it is. And I'm going to share because I've got the fabulous Jillian here today. And you know what? She is Jillian from JMV Financial. You saw that wonderful commercial go on. You saw what that was out there, and it's all about branding, who you are, and get seen and heard. And Jillian's going to talk about what she does, how she does it, and why she does it. She's going to share some powerful information. And you know what is great? What I love Jillian to say is that it's a great conversation because not everybody wants to talk about their finances. It can get boring, it can get tedious. People feel guilt and shame. But having someone like Jillian to talk to, it's great. I have gotten on conversation with her a few times and I love it. So welcome, Jillian. Would you tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Who I am is, as you stated, Jillian Verdun, and you did such a wonderful job. Uh, what I do is I work with women entrepreneurs who are making money but wondering where all the money is going. So like they say, you mentioned zone of genius, and I laugh because one of the things that I tell people is I get told that I make accounting fun, and accounting and fun doesn't ever go in the same sentence. But I try to make it that way. And most people is like, wait a minute. And I was like, I have proof because it is in writing. So, but that's what I do. Yes.
I love that. It makes me laugh because you know what it is. You talk to some of these people and they're so robotic. You're like, oh, you have absence of any uniqueness, and not everybody. And I do get to meet wonderful speakers because I talk to a lot of people who are, whether they're networking or I'm building out a stage for people. It is just like, what is your communication style? And we can
Yep.
death by PowerPoint or death by numbers. And I don't think that everybody hates numbers. I think that it's more that they don't understand the depth of what they need to know. And having somebody that's kind of, that definitely has the experience and the know-how, but really the true interest in the client and bringing in the charisma. So let's get down to it. So let's get some solutions out there for people.
Mhm.
For people that who would you be your ideal client? What kind of pain point would they bring? Isn't there anyone talking about the real problem? Because you see this real cookie cutter.
Yep.
A lot of times, people talk and they just say the same thing over and over again, and they want to just rinse and repeat. And it's like, if I can go find all that everywhere, why am I talking to you? What makes you stand out? Um, what are people looking for? What's your ideal audience?
So my ideal audience, typically I have a tendency to attract women entrepreneurs. And I know it leads from the fact that I am a woman entrepreneur and I am relatable. And the biggest thing is what I notice with most women, we start these businesses to support our family, to sustain a lifestyle. And so there is a lot more heart that goes into the business versus really starting it to make a lot of money. We want to make enough money to sustain our families. And it's funny because it's like you're getting your paycheck and your paycheck comes in on a Friday. And then by Monday, you're like, wait a minute, you're looking around and you're like, I really don't. And I've heard this numerous times from people is they don't know where their money is going. And I never really paid attention to it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you spend money every day. So how do you not know where your money is going? And it's not that they don't know, it's that they subconsciously spend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, now we got to bring awareness to it because I don't know about anybody else, but I like Amazon. And so before I go into Amazon and I'm like, oh, do I need this? Probably not. I'll put it in the cart, let it sit there for a little while and think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel good because now I've satisfied the fact that I've put that in there.
Right, right.
But I also like coffee too. And everybody was like, well, if you're working with somebody, like you said, the cookie cutter, the first thing everybody thinks is that I'm going to tell you to stop spending your money. And
Right.
I'm not going to tell you to stop spending your money. I am going to tell you how to spend your money better.
Mm.
And for me, I laugh because I like coffee and I'm guilty. My guilty pleasure is Starbucks. And yes, I know everybody's like, oh my God, it's $5 a cup. Yes, it can be.
Yep.
And that's on a good day. I said, but
Mm-hmm.
I usually take $20 and I'll put it on my app
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the month. Then they were like, well, that's not going to do anything for the whole month. And I'm like, no, it won't. I said, but what will is people who want to get you small tokens of appreciation, or if you tell enough people that you like Starbucks, guess what happens when they say, oh, I would really like to get them something? Guess what they do? They go and get you a gift card for
Yep.
Starbucks. So now I've added to my balance without even spending my own money.
Mm. I love that. That's great for a coffee chat, right? So if
Yes,
you're if you're meeting in person or somebody wants to buy you a cup of coffee, they want to send you a letter, a note. More and more people are coming back into sending cards out or little thank you
yes,
information. It's easy to do digitally. You're not going to get penalized for it. You can go on Amazon and get a gift card. It
yes,
is just a nice and sweet thank you, $5, $20, whatever
right.
people are doing, and you're going, hey, I like this. Give me more
More of
universe.
that.
So you
Right.
don't have to spend it, but you kept within your budget. And you
Yes.
look at that, it's just like a diet.
Yep.
I see people all the time, and I've heard that for years. Go in there, this gluten-free thing, and I
Yep.
heard it from, there I work with a lot of coaches and a lot of people. I am not a vegan, I'm not a vegetarian, but I love my coaches. I love them out there, and that's good for them. But
Right.
if I go into my cupboards and I take everything out, I'm going to go through sugar withdrawal. I'm going to go through the flour withdrawal. And I mean, if I'm baking my own bread and I put sourdough in it, I don't need to worry about
Yep.
those glutens or
No,
the sugar. But I know that I'm not going to go through this crazy withdrawal that I don't have it. And for me, it's
correct.
more the monkey mind going, oh my God, I don't have it. I can't have it. I don't have it. I
Yes,
can't have it.
exactly.
I don't have it. I can't have it. How about eliminating or adding? And I love what you're doing because it's partly you and
Yep.
it's partly them. And
Correct.
you're putting this together. So you're adding this to your budget. And really it's just, hey, it's a different way of thinking. And it's just something small that people can do.
Yes,
People will do.
correct.
And you don't have to just abandon everything and go,
No.
what's that? So, it's really that problem that people think that they have
Yep.
versus what they really have, and defining something simple. And do you see a better change when you're like, hey, people say take baby steps, but what that doesn't mean act like a child.
No,
And
it
that
does
doesn't
not.
mean lock yourself out of everything, but that
Yep.
does mean that you are still able to go through life and have the wonderful, yummy things that you want to have.
Yes.
So, if they're eliminating that, what kind of frustration when people start looking at it a little bit differently and really detaching, how does that really eliminate the frustration? I would imagine it does for your clients. So,
Mhm.
are they more willing and more apt to participate in long
Yes.
terms?
Yeah. And because the biggest thing is we're all humans. And what I've learned is it's the small wins. And they're so used to or accustomed to people saying, eliminate this, eliminate that. And you're like, but I can eliminate it for a short period of time. What happens in 30, 60, or 90 days when I want it back? So you reference dieting. It's like, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I can go to the gym for 30, 60, or 90 days. And I like cheese. I love cheese. Am I allowed to have cheese while I'm working out and trying to lose weight? Probably not. But what's going to happen after the 30, 60, and 90 days is I'm going to go back and buy cheese.
Mm,
So, what I do is you naturally incorporate it at the beginning within reason. And now I'm bringing you consciously to understanding how much money you're spending on coffee and allowing you to make the decision if you want to spend $100 on coffee a month, or can you use $40 and use the other 60 to do something else. So now at this point, you're telling your money where to go versus your money telling you where it wants to go instead. And
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, no, it's like, no, we can't do that. Now you're in control of it.
Yep.
Because I tell people, I'm like, money is energy. And if you can't manage what you currently have, everybody always thinks, let's grow revenue.
Mm.
Sounds good, but revenue is not what you keep. Profit is. And so I work with my clients to increase their profit without spending more on marketing or chasing more sales or working longer hours, because none of us decided that we were going to go to business to work longer hours. Even though by nature we do, but that's by choice,
Mm-hmm.
not because you have to. And there's a difference. You have a little bit more flexibility in that. So, and
Well, I love that because you're giving people the can do. You can do this. This is
yes,
achievable. You're
yes,
you're you're not stupid.
nope,
You're not lazy. You're not a
mm-mm,
procrastinator. There's
mhm,
just ways to simplify, keep it simple, stupid in
yes,
all reality, and lead yourself. Because
yep,
in a digital life, we're not using paper money to go, okay, it's in front of me. This is what I have. I mean, and I tell people all the time, I grew up where my mom wrote a check on Tuesday,
yep,
post-dated it for Friday, at
yep,
the grocery store. Do you
correct,
remember Wimpy, and
yep,
the Popeye cartoon? Can
yes,
I pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, right?
today,
So
yes,
she was leveraging that time. We don't
yep,
have that. It's so instant. You don't even get that. And it's like something
mm,
that's $5 going to cost you another $60 down the
yep,
road if you don't have that right. And what is it
correct,
really costing you? And it's understanding that. I think that would eliminate the frustration and saying,
yep,
hey, how do we get this before it's too late? Or can I kind of backtrack and win? Because I think there's ways to kind of forgive that, and that
yeah,
money will forgive you if you're looking at it with the energetic exchange. Is there a warning sign people kind of need to start looking at before it's way too late and they're just got to
yeah,
cut everything off?
yeah. And the biggest thing is if you start to feel that you deposit something in your bank account, $500, and then by the end of the day or by the end of the week, it's already gone. Or if you're looking at your bank account to make decisions on, can I afford to purchase this commercial? Am I able to afford to spend this money on this new software? Um, what I notice, and you mentioned it, is people don't look at their finances. And they don't look at it because they think they already know what it says. And in actuality, you don't really know what it says. You have an idea,
Mm.
but you don't know what it really is saying. And I've had people who I tell them, everybody thinks you need to basically eat the whole elephant at once, and you don't need to. Most people don't like looking at their finances. Set up 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes a week and have what you call a money date.
Mhm.
Do you even plan your week? Do you know what bills are coming in for this week? Do you know what revenue coming in this week is going to cover what's coming in? And if not, do you know how much a client is worth to you, to where you're like, all right, let's see, I have $600 worth of bills coming in. I need to pay myself $400 because I have my own personal bill coming in. So that means I need to make on average $1,000 this week. How many clients or what can you sell or what do you have on your calendar that leverages you being able to get that $1,000 in that week? But if you don't know you need that $1,000, how are you going to figure that out? Like we always do, a hope and a prayer.
It doesn't pay you back.
No, it does not at all.
No, it doesn't pay you back, but it just might meet your need, right? So
Yes.
you're constantly in that cycle doing that
Correct.
again and again. So what's really that uncomfortable truth you would tell people really so they can find, I mean, you're giving these solutions, they're simple solutions that people can do. And in this day and age, where I think when you talked about this, Caleb, right? I think that
Yep.
was and I love what he does because he's looking at people's finances, but he's getting to know them,
Right.
right? There is something quirky about people's personalities that have
Yep.
everything, if we're talking about energy again, that have
Yes.
everything to do with you, your
Yep.
business, and how you connect with money and the energy of money. So if we're looking about at that, and of course people are going to talk to you, so you got to get to know them if
Know
this
them.
is achievable for them. What's that
Yes.
uncomfortable truth that you really have to have that kind of, maybe come to Jesus moment in the conversation to say, look, this is really the truth of what's going on, and this is where we can do a little recon and maybe some prep for the future.
Right. And the biggest thing is identifying, like you said, when you're putting a plan in place for somebody, that person has to be comfortable enough to tell you and air out all of their dirty laundry. Because if they don't, what happens is if they're not 100% truthful with you and you put a plan in place, that plan's not going to work. And so you need to establish that relationship with that person so then you're able to tell them the hard truth, because a lot of the times, sometimes unfortunately, the hard truth is yes, you are constantly losing money in your business. And unless you're able to do this, then you're going to have to go and get another job. I laugh. I have a coach that I work with, and she's not everybody's cup of tea. But she will tell you in a heartbeat, if you don't have $100 to spare or to spend or invest on your business, you may need to start looking for a new job. And some people just need to hear that. Some people are like, oh my God, no, that's not good.
It's not. I think,
No.
in realizing this through COVID, and I'm
Yep.
honest about it, I was voluntold out of my business because of what
Yes.
happened in the company, and
Hmm.
Las Vegas shut down of all things. That was just weird and
Right.
eerie. I still had a job, but there was things that I wasn't okay to do, and I was working to get into entrepreneurship and learning about it, but it wasn't my mistake was I wasn't learning strategy from people. I
Right.
was learning this coaching concept, and I needed that
Yes.
hard truth of
Yep.
what's going on behind the scenes and what I need
Correct.
to know.
Yep.
And so I was forced into that. So finding out later, like, oh, I really do need this. How do I simplify it? So it's really caused
Mhm.
me to come back and simplify what I do and saying that reality to people, and more people coming up and saying, hey, this is really what you need. There are some free tools, and that's why I love less is more. And so even just if you're using a commercial, and I tell people all the time, it's 30 seconds and go on
Correct.
a podcast, it can
Yep.
go on your shorts, it goes in your LinkedIn, your Instagram, so it goes all over the place. And there's
Yep.
many places it can go and be seen, and people will look at it because it's short enough and it's compact enough, and it says that powerful message, that powerful call to action that you want, and you share it over and over and over again. So you spend once, but you
Yep.
keep sharing it. You can use
Correct.
it at your workshop. Tell people who you are so they get like a
Right.
little synopsis, and it's a
Yep.
better intro. It's a spicier, funner intro for people
Mhm.
to really add that kind of, oh,
Yes.
this is somebody that I'm going to
Benefit.
look at. This is somebody that has expertise, their zone of genius that everybody uses. I kind of
Yes.
laugh at it, but it's really your expertise. It's really
Correct.
to say that you are professional and that you
Yep.
thought of yourself. So that has everything to do in this business. I'm sure there's a lot of blame and shame in this,
Yep,
and
that's what I was
that
getting ready
comes
to
into the
say. Mhm.
waste. So is that more that you have to deal with, not necessarily people's money, but maybe their personal trash in a sense
Yes.
they need to clean out?
Yes, and so that's why I give an assessment to all of my clients, at the beginning, so then I understand what they basically tell themselves and how their relationship with money shows up. And the reason I do that is because now I can relate whatever strategy or plan that we come up with into their business, utilizing their strengths and challenges, and already know this going into the door. But there's so many people, and I sit with myself with this because I'm even guilty of it, is they have shame or they have guilt in the sense of, well, and then they should on themselves. I should have known. I should know this. Well, if that's not your zone of genius, why are you beating yourself up on what you should have known or you should have done better because nobody actually showed you? And the thing about it is I tell people, people get so guilty with that shame that they don't even want to ask for assistance or help. And so that's why I pride myself on being an approachable person in this space for
Mhm.
that reason, and having a good personality that people are like, oh, yes, I really want to talk to her. People naturally want to talk to me. I'm an introvert. There's not many people that I want to talk to in the day. I get exhausted. But by nature, I know that I am an approachable person. And so people will tell me, and then I get all of the information, and I didn't even ask the question. And so you need to make yourself that person and don't beat yourself up because you felt that you should have known something. Ask.
Well, that's just it. So if you're a coach, you're a consultant, and you're out there and you have an expertise, you have your professional, it's things you know. If you concentrate on that and you stop in the DIY, you can do it yourself. You can
Yep.
learn it and
Yep.
understand it. As a leader, you should know your business. You should
Mhm.
know every aspect, that if your virtual assistant quits or goes on maternity leave or some partner collaboration thing falls apart, that you can fix it.
Yep.
However, you should not be doing it all the time,
Correct.
at every time, because good leaders need to know how it works, the system works, but you want to
Mhm.
delegate to people's strengths and give
Yep.
them their worth and be able to support those people. But
Yep.
if you do it all,
That's
it
costing you money.
hinders your business. It costs you extreme. I see it all the time in summits. And this is a discussion I have with a lot of my clients and a lot of groups, and saying, hey, if you do it all yourself, you're withdrawn from engagement.
Yep.
You're missing the engagement. And if you're withdrawn and you're doing it all,
Yep.
or you're not paying attention to what the staff
Mhm.
is doing or lack thereof,
Oh,
that you
right.
have hired to do it,
Yep.
then you're not paying attention to your guests. Why would
Yep.
people come off that come on the camera? And if you talk
Yeah.
about introverts, maybe they're waiting for a moment to be acknowledged. Maybe they're waiting,
Right.
maybe somebody's eating, maybe they need a moment, maybe they're multitasking. So,
Yes.
whether they should be doing it or not, they are, we all know that. But if you want
Right.
people to come off the camera, you have to be present. You have to be there. And that's
Yep.
part of understanding everything. What is something that you've learned? And over here with the money, that you want people to know, like, hey, we need to share this more. We need to talk about this. What's that kind of water cooler conversation you would have behind the scenes? Like, everybody needs to know this. Everybody, people don't understand. People don't know how this works. And if the world should know, I want the world to know. But you're sitting there and probably for a while, that you're very
Yep.
open about it, but that you're like, I'm going to wait for someone else to share it. But right now, here's the moment where you could just share it with everybody and we can really find a solution.
Yep. So the biggest thing, and I have two things. One thing is the arch nemesis of most business owners is taxes. And people sit and tell me all the time, I want to pay less in taxes. And I'm like, that's fine. You can pay less in taxes. What are you using to track your expenses or track your income? And then they say, nothing, or pen and paper, or I have my receipts. You're truly not trying to minimize your tax liability that way. Or you wait until April 15th or January. I can't help you past December 31st with a lot of strategies you may be able to implement before January 1st, and nobody wants to talk about that. But as an employee, we were not responsible for our own taxes. Somebody did it for us. As an entrepreneur, we're responsible for it, and we don't like it because you feel like you're giving your money away. Beforehand, you didn't see it.
Mm.
And I'm like, yes. And the second thing is it doesn't have to be complicated.
Ooh, I like that.
Keep it simple. We've learned KISS. Keep it simple, right? So why must we make it so much more complicated than it needs to be? Because everybody wants me to tell them that magic tool that works. And you know what that magic tool is? Is the one that you're actually going to use.
Huh.
I
Yeah.
talked to a client recently, in fact, this week, and she was like, she's not a big fan of technology. That's fine. She's like, I'm still old school. I write everything down. Great. Your company is at a size where you can do that. So she thought that I was going to instantly tell her, oh, well, we got to put you in this software or you have to do that. No, I will provide you worksheets. You want to write it down? Here you go. Keep it simple. You're going to use it. I have no problems you killing trees. Here.
Well, I love that because you're willing to work with people and meet them where they're at. And that is a falsehood that has happened. And I know for the first few years in 2020 to like 2023, for the first few years, it was like, you need to have this or you need to have that. And I was always like, why?
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 Yeah,
Why?
right.
It's my business. Why do I need to
Correct.
have that?
You
It's
know.
not that special. It
Mm-mm,
wasn't the how to, it was the mindset.
mm-mm.
Well, the mindset and the strategy go together, right?
Yes.
An athlete works out and practices. So when it's time for the play, they are there and the mindset
Ready
is
to go.
there. And so it's a
Yes.
perishable skill.
Right.
I do like that she's writing it down because it's a good connection to spell it out and that's a good energetic way. And hey, that's what she does. But it's just so that we many times there has been this falsehood, and I say call it out, not in a nasty way. I'm just saying,
No.
in a fun way. Let's have
Right.
real talk here about
Yes.
why it doesn't work because the
Mm,
company said you need to do it this way. The company
right.
says I need to
Mm,
say these words. Are they
yep.
giving you a script? Are they watching your calls? If
Right.
are you independent or are you not independent? Because if you truly are an independent financial person, if you're an independent coach, consultant, then you
Yep.
can say things in your way so that
Right.
you can speak to your audience. And that comes back to that rinse and repeat. Let's have
Yeah.
real talk on what we need to do to simplify. Because and I love tech and things have made it easy. And some of the tech is actually finally come to the light of 2026, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about time. It's more user friendly. Some is not. I don't know what people are thinking. Tech has overcomplicated things too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it.
No.
If you're not going to use it, why have it? If you're not going to go
Exactly.
on a diet, if you're going
Yep.
to frustrate yourself, why
Yep.
are you doing it? Add
Correct.
some things. Add a few
Yes.
things. You don't have to take everything away. You don't have to clean house. Now,
Mm-mm.
now I do things, I've done things cold turkey. I quit smoking cold turkey and I would suggest it to everybody, but I did have a
Right.
pack of cigarettes 20 plus years ago on the
Yep.
side that I knew, okay, that's there. So if I
Emergency
smell
purposes.
it, touch
Yes.
it, crush the package, whatever,
Yep.
chew on it for a
Right.
minute, I know it's there. It's hiding,
Exactly.
right? It's
Right.
there. I know where it's at. I know where I can get it. And I could feel okay, like, hey, I
Mm-hmm.
understand that. But it's to look at that to say, hey, if you do this, then the other thing is even if people are tech friendly, they've got to learn this entire new system, and they're going through this mind-boggling
Yes.
craziness of guilt and shame and or
Right.
just not knowing or understanding, and
Correct.
you're piling more junk on it, and then you wonder why don't they do something? because maybe the app doesn't work. So let's be honest, people out there in the
Correct.
tech world, sometimes this stuff just doesn't work. I don't
Right.
know who, the idea may have been good, but
No.
somebody should have said before you put all that money out there that it's a
Yes.
good idea. You don't need to have it. It's like writing a book. If you're writing it with AI, don't do it. So,
Don't.
it's really about let's get back to basics. Let's learn this
Yes.
and do this. And I would say, yes, you should learn these things in school. Yes. But if you put everything on a teacher that
Right.
you're already mad about,
Yep.
they don't have, there's only so much time in the day. When do
Yep.
we take the responsibility on and say, hey, maybe there's another way to learn this in the community? So what's really that kind of defining moment for you? I mean, what is this that when people are finally getting it, and is this like the long haul? Is this something they you're going to say, hey, I'm going to get you to this road and I'm going to map you out. Let's look at long term
Yep.
and each step to it, or just, hey, I'm going to give you this and walk away.
Right. Yes. No, I like to work with my clients. And if I'm going to use the word empower, I'm not a big fan of that word, but that's basically what it is. It's basically giving them the ability. They may not, you mentioned earlier, of you need to have some knowledge of what is going on in your business. Yes, it is great to have somebody there to help you with your money, manage it, make sure we're doing things the way that we're supposed to be doing, telling you and having an outside view looking in, and that's fine. But so many of us say, okay, well, and we're all guilty of it, is, oh, well, I have this person, so I don't even need to look at it. You're still ultimately responsible for it. Regardless if it's the tax return that was submitted on your behalf by a professional, regardless if it was your financial statements that were done for you on a month-to-month basis, you are still ultimately responsible for it. So you need to have some type of knowledge of what's on there. And so a lot of clients, in fact, I just have one recently, and we're having to redo her whole 2025 books because she
Mhm.
was disconnected because she had somebody that was doing it for her.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, and she was like, I really don't know. And she says, I don't want to go into 2027 not knowing. I really want to know and be familiar with what is going on in my business, because that's how you make decisions. Can you or can you not afford this? Do you even know? But as a business owner, you need to know this. And we're not asking you to go out and learn a new skill or trade. We're asking you to be involved and open to the idea that as soon as you start approaching it from the simple perspective and understanding the basics and why you should understand the basics, your business grows without you even increasing anything. You're
Mm.
just paying attention to what you already have. People will tell me, oh, well, all I need is, more income. And then my problems will be solved.
Mm.
That's what the people who won the lottery said too. And what happened? They got
They
a
sure
lot of
did keep it.
money. Exactly. And they didn't get to keep it. And then they're looking around after they've done and they're like, where did it all go? What did I spend it on? You may be able to pinpoint maybe three things that you spent it on, but now you're back into the cycle of not paying attention. How many of us have gone to Target and said, I'm going for this, and this, which was a $40 bill, and you go to check out, and now you're at $100, and you get to the register, and you're like, what did I buy for $100?
You mean the inflation didn't kick in from you entering the store an hour and a half later? It didn't triple by the time you walked out the store. It's inflation. What did I buy? And you
What did
and
I
you look
buy?
at it and you're like, did I really spend that money? What did I get for
Yes,
it? And it's
exactly.
what
Yes.
did I get for it? I like to think that. But, and it's when you don't know, like you're saying with a client, when now she's like, okay, I want to be attentive to it. that's an excuse you can give the tax people. I mean, look at Rocket. I mean, yeah, I'm dating myself, but he made all this money in boxing and did
Yes.
his love, and then he lost all this money. You're responsible for
Well,
those people you bring in, and you are responsible for part of this and understanding that. You need
yep.
to have some type of, even, if you're not going to look at it every day, hey, we need to really walk through these books. Where's the money going? And I would think
Yep.
that when you progressively adding new products or services or growing your
Yep.
company, you have a better understanding that I'm not in this cycle anymore. I can look at
No.
this and go, here's where I can expand. Here's where I can add a few things. Here's where I can have some ideas. And of course, you're going to
Yes.
absolutely feel better on that. So for you in the industry, what would you really say is something that maybe there's like a hill you would die on and say, just stop doing that. Let's have real talk and.
I tell people less is more. That's the biggest thing because everybody was like, oh, well, let me go do this. Let me get that. Let me send this out. No. Then you get overwhelmed and you don't need to be overwhelmed. Less is more. The less you focus on. So I tell people, everybody's like, oh, well, I'd like to have 10 clients. Great. I'd rather have 5 quality clients versus the 10 and work less. But that's just my own personal opinion. And everybody's like, well, you don't need to. You need to learn and implement simple systems to manage your money. And it starts with your mindset. And so many of us don't want to talk about it, but we always look at it from the perspective of what have you been told about money, or what do you tell yourself about money that you probably consciously don't realize you're telling yourself. And I always tell my clients it's about perspective. And I use the example of people say, well, money doesn't grow on trees. We've all heard it. I have an apple tree and I have sold you an apple for 50 cents. Guess what? Money has grew on my tree because why? I
Mhm.
just generated 50 cents from selling you an apple that grew on a tree outside. It's perspective. That is something I'm not retraining you. I'm not teaching you anything differently. I am teaching you how to leverage what you've been told.
100%. I love that because you're giving people a different perspective. I always looked at it since I was younger, like, especially when that saying came out, uh, paper comes off a tree.
Tree.
So how does
Exactly.
it not grow on trees? How is it not abundant? I don't get
You
it.
don't get it.
But
Exactly.
that yes, there is that
Yep.
life. There's that harvest that we have, right? When you're
Yep.
in the runestones, Fehu, it's harvest, and Fehu is the money rune. So when we're looking at that, there is some money to be had. What are
Correct.
you making money on? And
Yep.
when you do make money, you can spend it on the community.
Yes.
You can put it to your favorite nonprofit. You can take your kids on a trip. What are you
Yep.
doing with the money? Where is that going? How can you have a better life so you can give a
Right.
better life to other people in different perspective? So I'm going to give you the final words. We're just about to wrap up. I like this conversation because sometimes I'm going to tell you, people can be so boring, but I'm like, aren't people excited when they get paid or when they buy
Yes.
hit the button on the cart in Amazon and oh, I'm
Right.
getting my packages. Aren't you supposed to be
Yes.
excited about it at
Yes.
some point?
Yep. Yes, I agree. That's why I put stuff over there. And I'm like, oh, then I can actually go and get it. So when then I do push it and then the boxes show up, I'm excited because now I've done something where we always justify spending. I deserve it. Yes,
Mm.
I deserve what I put in that cart. So I worked hard and managed what I needed to manage and paid my responsibilities to be able to get what I put in my cart because I have a goal now. It's like, yes, I want that. Okay, great.
Well, now you can put your big boy pants on and have a
Correct.
better relationship with money. But absolutely, ladies, if you're just talking women, you go buy new pants. How about
That
that,
part.
right? You can go shopping. So I
Yeah.
think this is a great conversation and absolutely a more personable conversation about our
Mhm.
relationship with life and how to really juxtapose how does it work in our business. And I would think that when should people, before we end, when should people come to you? Should they wait till they're deeply regretting their life, or when's a
Right.
good time to get on a call with
No,
you?
I tell people they need to get on a call with somebody at the beginning, because a lot of people will say, well, I don't have any money to afford you. No, you may not have money right now to afford me, but you've now just told yourself that you can't afford me and you don't even know how much it cost.
Wow.
So you need to at least have a conversation with somebody. So then you're starting off, like you said, on the right track. Have somebody that you can talk to guide you and help you to put in a solution in place in a 30 to 45-minute conversation versus you trying to go out and do it on your own.
100%, 100%. Don't do it
Don't
all
wait.
yourself.
No.
Don't
Ask.
don't burden and when you DIY and you do everything on yourself and you should yourself to death and you're not prepared with a new set of pants, then
Correct.
you have no excuse when you don't have that conversation.
Yeah.
And don't take that burden on yourself. And folks, if you're coaches out there, you tell people this all the time. Don't do it
All the time.
yourself.
Don't
Talk
do
to
it
the
yourself.
expert, talk to the
Yep.
person that's in their zone of genius and they're totally comfortable with having that conversation.
Yep.
They don't shame you to death, they don't guilt you
No.
to death, and they don't throw a bunch of new products and services on you, but say, hey, this is the reality of what it is, and this is
Correct.
where you can go. Here's the potential for you. So
Yeah.
let's do that. All right. So I have put your website in there and people can go check you out. I love this conversation. I always like having a conversation with you. They can check out JMV Financial Services. Get on a call with Jillian. She always has this energy here because she actually does, when she comes here, she is full Jillian all the time. And so she takes care of herself. She takes care of her money. And so she is absolutely going to take care of you. All right, guys, we'll see you next Wednesday on another episode of the Pain Point Podcast. Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.